What is going on, wrestling fantasize? Steve O. Welcome back to 10 Count Media on another edition of the New Generation Era podcast with Ahmed Johnson. Ahmed, have you destroyed any doors today?
Not today.
Not
They've
today.
been good on the doors. Yeah,
Okay.
good on the doors today.
Good. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in to last week's episode. We talked about Ahmed destroying door after door on his road to becoming the Intercontinental Champion at King of the Ring 1996. But on today's edition, we're talking about WrestleMania 13, one of my favorite matches. It's Legion of Doom, destroying the Nation of Domination in front of our eyes in Chicago, Illinois. But before we get into that, what was your relationship like with Chicago? Because Chicago is known as a tough city, but also a wrestling city.
Well, I love Chicago. I was born in Indiana, right next door to it.
Perfect.
So, yeah, I love me some Chicago, man.
Yeah, you can't deny Chicago's influence on professional wrestling because every time they go, the fans are rabid. And WrestleMania 13 is no difference. And WrestleMania always has, in today's world, media events, junkets, signings. And there's a video on YouTube. You can find it. Someone has a camcorder, like an old VHS camcorder, and they uploaded the footage. And it's a fan inside the hotel where you're staying, because you're in this video as well. And there's a lot of people, Taker and Austin and Bret Hart. What was it like being at the hotel and finding out the fans know exactly where you are staying?
That's what we want to know, how the fans find out, somebody let the couch out the boots there. I don't know how the fans thought we were staying there, but yeah, they were, man, at that hotel, they were loaded, man.
How did they know? How did they see you pull up? Like, do they know your fake airplane name? Like, how do they know?
I don't know. I'll tell you the story real quick. That was real funny. I was dating this chick. She worked for Delta Airlines. I won't say her name. But she worked for Delta Airlines. And I went to Ohio one day for a match. I had a wrestling match. I'm coming to my room and I'm tired of I don't know what. I open my door to my room and there's candles lit everywhere. I'm like, what the F is this? I mean, there's candles lit. And then you go around in your corner, there's rose petals all over the floor. And then my bathtub was full of bubble water for me to take a bubble bath. And then here she comes out the closet. I'm like, I mean, this is a fan. How did you get into my room? And she said, I went down there and told Mom, I was your wife. And I lost my key. God. And they gave her a key to my room, man. She could have been psycho or anything.
Wow.
That's something we had to always watch out for, man, was like fans sneaking in your rooms and doing crazy stuff like that.
Well, I guess this is a personal question. How was the bubble bath?
It was good.
Okay.
I just feel like this. I didn't kick her out. Let's put it like that.
Very good. Because I imagine you gotta assess the situation. All right, I don't see any weapons. I don't see any knives. I just see a woman who's probably here for a good time. And
it looks good.
Nothing's wrong with the rock star life of a professional wrestler.
No.
Wow. But just imagine if it's like some dude who does not like you or a woman who does not like you in real life, like a crazy person. And you're saying like, oh, I'm Ahmed Johnson's wife or brother or friend. Oh, of course. Here's a key. That could have gone sideways.
That could have went terribly wrong.
Dude. I can't believe that hotel is probably still in business somehow. But it gave them the key. Damn.
Gave her a key, brother, to my room. And I'm like, well, I'm not mad about it now, but
not now.
She was something to surprise. Well, that means she was something to look at.
Yes, it could have been terrible. It could have been
that's what scared me. That it could have played out the other way, because I don't know what this girl's intention was.
Yeah. She could have drowned you in that bubble bath. Instead, she probably you had a good time. Those bubbles were gone by the end of the night, I'm assuming.
The bubble bath was good.
You never know what you're going to hear on the Ahmed Johnson New Generation Era podcast, but you're getting that. You're getting these stories today. Exclusives. But yeah, that's amazing to hear. Good for you. By the way, good for you. WrestleMania 13, though.
If she's out there listening, I need another bubble bath.
Folks, This man needs to bathe. Can someone help him? All right. Good Lord. Can we help him out here? Ahmed Johnson needs some assistance. March 23rd, 1997 is WrestleMania 13, 18,000 people. It was the Rosemont Horizon. Now it's the Allstate Arena. Boo. I hate when they change names like that. But this WrestleMania in particular, business again, not doing well. This is one of the most lowest buy rates for WrestleMania in the history at this point in time. With you heading into this, are you feeling the financial woes that the company's feeling, or are you feeling financially satisfied?
I'm feeling a little bit, but I was very not getting to like I said, Ahmed Johnson mode, man. All that stuff just blacks out. Thinking about the person in front of me.
Because I'm wondering, because you're on. Because underneath these contracts that you have, you're being paid based on the house. So if 18,000 people come, it sells out. Because I would hear stories for years. Almost so many wrestlers I've talked to say sometimes a WrestleMania payday is what made their year. So this night, it might be again a personal question, but does this night satisfy your entire year?
Close. Financially? Wow. You talking financially?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, it was close.
Wow. That's good. Yeah, because you always hear about WrestleMania paydays and
it was nice payday, man.
Wow, good. And this would be so last year at WrestleMania 12, you were in a 3-on-3 match. This year, a 3-on-3 match. Compare and contrast. How are you feeling heading into this one? Because you're teaming up with Legion of Doom, but you're also fighting the Nation of Domination, which at the time, personally, you might have some issues with Ron Simmons, but yet you're still going to be at WrestleMania, still making big money. Like, how are you feeling about both years? 12, it's you, Jake, and Yoko versus Camp Cornette. So how are you feeling about comparing and contrasting, I guess, financially? Were you paid more for 13 than you were for 12?
Yeah, I was. Quite a bit more.
Wow, really?
Quite a bit more for 13.
Interesting.
Yeah. We took some bumps and bruises on 13, brother. I mean, some of the hits you guys seen were definitely real. I remember about my buddy Savio Vega had a nightstick, and he was hitting me with a nightstick, and some bitch was hitting me for real. I was like, whoa. So I had to kick him real hard. And it's began to let him know, hey, you need to calm down a little bit, brother. I mean, you're going a little out of control. But that total match was out of control, man. That's what I love about it. It was no coordinating. It was no, we're going to do this, that, and the other, and get in the ring. It's just, we're going to get in the ring, and what happens, happens. Got the Nation, they were badass, the Road Warriors were. They were some bad dudes, man. Sure. And like I said, it was, I loved it because it wasn't coordinated, it wasn't called. You just go out there and do what you do in a street fight.
It was beautiful to see the brutality of it all. But when you're going into WrestleMania, you have lots of media. This is, if I'm correct, you have a fan fest at the Rosemont Horizon. What is, so when you're doing autograph signings, because now it's so coordinated. Now it's like, oh, show up at this time, go to this event, go to this door. What was the coordination? What were you feeling like? Because you're sitting there, you must be signing so many autographs, taking so many pictures. Like, what was the media schedule like for you at WrestleMania 13?
Oh, it was wild, man. It was like a circus, man. It was like, you step in this room, and like you said, there was really nobody controlling it. And the fans all gather around you. I'm just signing. You're like just signing away, not knowing what you're signing or who you're signing until you get to the breast, then you know what you're signing. A lot of women do that, man. Come up, sign my breast. Like what I'm not bathed for the next 2-3 weeks. What's going on here? But it was like, it was like it was haywire,
man. And so are you doing these media junkets with Legion of Doom? Like, are you going to local stations doing signings, or are you by yourself?
No, I was by myself, and they did theirs by themselves. But like me and Hawk were real good friends, man. We were good buddies, man. Me and Animal, Not so much.
I was just going to say, what was your relationship like with Legion of Doom? Like heading into this matchup, you're working together on television. You're obviously creating like, a unit on television. So your friends, you're saying your relationship with Hawk better than Animals. Like why though? What's the difference between each one for you?
I think Animal was a little jealous when I came aboard because I already had on their colors, the red and the black. And my trunks were red and black. My boots were red and black. My pads, red and black. And I think that what happened was me and Hawk started going out doing independent shows, little shows with just each other.
Really? And you were allowed to do that?
Not really, but we did it. And he didn't, and he didn't invite Animal to these shows. So Animal started getting a little, jealous and a little heated over it. He never confronted me with it though, but I heard rumors.
Interesting. Yeah. Cause, I have another podcast with Sean Mooney from the golden era, the 80s and early 90s. And we did a whole episode about Legion of Doom while they showed up in the WWF in 1990 till 92. And we dived into a lot of friction between both of these guys because drug use from Hawk and Animal being upset that Hawk's going to Japan and getting deals, and Animal like, well, what are you doing? We have a contract here in the WWF. You can't just go. So clearly he wasn't just doing this in 92. He was also doing this in 1997. How don't you get caught though? How do you, because you're working so much already, how does no one catch you doing this? I'm curious.
I don't know.
You weren't caught, so you didn't care, I guess.
I don't know if they knew we were doing it and didn't care that we were doing it, or they just didn't get word that we were doing it. I don't know.
Wow, that's the first time I've ever heard like a story where someone's going off and you can get a pants, because usually they're probably like, oh, you're going to be Ahmed Johnson. Well, you owe us some money then.
Exactly.
Wow. I did not. That's amazing to hear. And, when you're heading into this WrestleMania 13 match, your relationship with Faarooq, Ron Simmons, not that well off. But I did see a picture pop up of, I think you're at 90s Wrestling Con. There's a picture with you and Ron Simmons. Have you buried the hatchet?
Yeah. We buried the hatchet.
That was great. When I saw that picture pop up, I was like, holy shit. I was like, this is crazy. Like I did not expect this picture.
Well, I thought the WWE should get, but I'm just thinking of it would have been too powerful. It's made me and Ron Simmons a tag team, but I'm like, that would have been just too damn powerful. I'm trying to think of like a hang with us, and the only person with it, the Road Warriors.
True.
That would have been a good match. Me and Ron against the Road Warriors.
Oh man, destruction.
Yeah, that would have been a good match.
Well, I wondered too, is like they pit you against each other right off the bat too, and you were red hot, and Faarooq comes in with his weird ass gladiator gear on. Like, how do you feel about that? Before we even get into more of this matchup, how did you feel about seeing someone show up and they're like, okay, so you're Ahmed Johnson, you're wearing red, you're wearing black, looking badass, body slamming, throwing people around, but you're gonna get your ass handed to you tonight by a gladiator? How do you feel? How did you feel?
But I didn't mind because it was Ron Simmons. I mean, he was the first black champion of WCW.
Yes.
And so I didn't mind it being Ron Simmons, but when he came out with that cut off football helmet on, I was like, what in the world are they doing to this man? They're destroying him. You take a national treasure like Ron Simmons and you put him in, I don't know what that was.
It wasn't even gladiator. I don't even know. It was like when you go to a Halloween store and it's just like the $100 gladiator outfit, or you buy the $20 one. It felt like they bought the $20 one.
Like a helmet and a mini skirt. I don't know what they gave him, but they could have gave him a better outfit than that, man.
It definitely was a mini skirt. You've hit the nail on the head on that one. I totally forgot about the bottom half. I was like, what's the bottom half look like?
Yeah.
Oh, it was weird blue. He's wearing a mini skirt and a half cut off football helmet. It's quite a sight to see, folks. I don't think he do. I think he was just happy to get a payday and he showed up, and then it obviously panned out as time went on. But
I think they messed it up with that though.
Oh yes, because you just said he was the first Black WCW World Champion. Like, I guess they can't acknowledge his history from somewhere else, but you can
Right.
acknowledge his history in football and be like, oh, this guy's like a collegiate athlete. Like, he's not
Yeah.
just a gladiator. He is someone who has a history, and we can go back and visit it. But they didn't. Yeah, they didn't do that very well with a lot of WCW wrestlers. Steve Austin, he was doing
Right.
great. Stunning Steve. Oh, now you're the ringmaster. Okay. Faarooq, first Black World Champion, WCW. Oh, now you're going to be a gladiator.
Well, the gladiator.
Mankind, he was Cactus Jack. He comes in, put a mask on him. Now you're Mankind. You live in a boiler room. Like, there seems to be a history here of grabbing people from WCW and then changing them completely. And
The idiot gimmicks.
yeah, like, you know, I loved Mark Merrow, and he was Johnny B. Bad in WCW. He didn't own that name. So when he came, they made him Wild Man Mark Merrow. Like, they just didn't really have a clue. They got you, but then they were like, I don't know what to do with you, though, but we bought you. So we're going to just figure something out. You are, let's go on the hat. You're a gladiator. Good for you.
Yeah, you get gladiator. Johnny B. Bad, you get little Richard.
Yeah,
so on and so forth.
Yeah,
But
there's
for me,
a lot
I was lucky, man, that I was able to sit in on all the meetings, and even if doing my costume, I was able to sit in on the costume meetings and stuff like that.
Wow. So did you ever want, because, like, you know, traditionally people like to wear robes or jackets. Like, did you have an idea of, like, I want to wear a jacket? You're like, no, I don't want to cover this up.
No, I kind of wanted to come out like Tyson.
Yeah.
Just, you know, no socks, just going to the ring, just, you know, he's there to whoop your ass. There's nothing else he's there for. So you might as well get ready.
Yeah. No, again, it was a great presentation. And again, WrestleMania 13 is surrounded by this. And you at WrestleMania 13 come out wearing the Legion of Doom traditional shoulder pads. And that just fits, like, what an entrance, because before this, there really wasn't WrestleMania entrances or WrestleMania gear. You'd show up and you sort of had maybe new gear on, and, you know, people will probably say, well, this guy did it once. Like, yeah, okay, he did it once. But here, this is nice to see all coming out as a unit, a television presentation. Yeah. And, you know, there is a weird story, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. And I highly doubt it's even true. Someone suggests on the internet that you took the shoulder pads home with you after this. Did you take them home? Like, did you give them back? Like, what's the story here?
First of all, you know Hulk. You're not going to take anything from Hulk, not without a fight, not without a fist fight. So after the match, I was going to give the shoulder pads back to Hulk, but he gave them to me. And he said, no, man. He said, you're part of the Legion of Doom now. You keep them. And I was like, what? And I don't even have the pass now. I donated them to a museum up in Dallas. But I wish I didn't. I wish I'd have kept them. But yeah, Hulk was like, you know, this is yours now, man. You're part of Legion of Doom now. And I'm like feeling good. You know, here I am. Some of my idols here, and suddenly I'm part of it. You know, their little troop. And that made me feel real good. And then Animal was the one who started that rumor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that rumor was started by Ahmed. He took Hulk's shoulder pads from him. Come on, man. Could you imagine me walking to Hulk saying, I'm taking your shoulder pads from you? Or give me these? And Hulk not wanting to beat the crap out of you. I don't know if he could have beat me, but he would have definitely been in a good fight. I guarantee you that. He'd have given me one for my money. But that was all bull, man.
Because you still work in the company together like, Legion of Doom doesn't leave until like mid 98, and you're there for a while. Like, wouldn't there be a confrontation of, hey, you stole these? Every day you go to work, he's not going to come to you and say, hey, you stole these?
Or at least ask him going back, say, hey, I mean, Hulk, Hulk gave you the shoulder pads, but they're part of, you know, our collection. Can I have them back? Yeah, I'll get them back to him.
Right. Well, especially, I'm assuming they own more than one pair of shoulder pads.
Yeah, they had several pair.
Yeah. You know, they had black ones, they had red ones, but interesting. Yeah, I'm glad we clarified that, because I always wondered, like, how could this even be possible? How could he take them? Yeah, it's not possible. Like, there's no way he works there every day with them, and they're like, hey, so can you bring back the shoulder pads? Like, I think if the Legion of Doom walked up to anybody, doesn't matter who they are, and they said, give us something back, Whatever you need, whatever you need. Please don't stab me with
Oh
those.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad we clarified that because that's a weird ass story that I've heard for like my entire life, and so I'm like, no, let's squash that here because it's not. So you do fight Faarooq, Crush, and Savio Vega. You said
And
it kind
D-Lo.
of in D'Lo. Well, D'Lo got his ass handed by you every time he stepped near
Yeah.
you. You plunged him on a car once. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, that looked painful. Yeah, how do you? Was that a real car or was the engine taken out of that car?
No, that was a real car, man. The whole thing was real. I don't even know what car it was. It was a nightclub across from where we was having Shotgun Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I guess it was somebody from the nightclub's car. When they come out here, they're going to be very, very pissed because there was a dent in that car so deep. Yeah. I'm like, they're not going to be happy when they get out here tonight.
Can you imagine though? You pull up to a club early, you're like, I got a good parking spot right in the front. So when we leave, right there, like this is the perfect night. And you're dancing and having a great time. And it's 1 a.m, club's closing. All right, I'm tired. I gotta go. What the fuck? And then you look at the car and there's a indent of D'Lo Brown's body on top of it. That sounds like an awful.
How did that happen?
Yeah. Why is there
and
a body?
How it happened got to be even more.
Right. Unless you're a wrestling fan, you wouldn't even figure it out. Man, that poor car. Yeah, you killed D'Lo every time you saw him. So, kudos to him for surviving all the beatdowns you gave him. What was your relationship like with Savio Vega, though? Because you just mentioned a little while ago, he was beating you down with a billy club. What was your friendship backstage? Because he's part of, the Undertaker's friendship with Crush and Yoko and all that group. Are you friendly with them and him?
Yeah. I was down with all of them. And Savio was like a good friend of mine, man. I mean, he's one of the boys, man. One of my brothers. Yeah. He's a good friend. That's why I couldn't stand him hitting me as hard as he was with that billy club. I was like, wait a minute, brother. Did we just break up friendships here?
Yeah. You're like, what are you? It's usually he has a term like, what do I owe you money? Like, can you stop? Like,
yeah.
It's just leave me alone. And then, you have Crush too. And Crush, unfortunately, is no longer here with us as well. But he had a pretty interesting gimmick here at the time. Before he went to jail, they said. He did in real life for like an arms deal, I believe, went wrong. And then they bring him in as he's like going to be a convict character. And then he joins the Nation of Domination. What was your thoughts on his character? But what was your relationship like with him? Because Crush he's been in the company for a long time with Apart Demolition. He was a Hawaiian guy. Now he's a fugitive. Now he's in the Nation of Domination. Like, what's your relationship like with Crush?
Oh, my relationship with Crush was excellent, man. We had a good relationship. Crush was a good dude, man. I have nothing bad to say about him. I mean, he was always so mellow, man.
Yeah.
He was the most mellow guy was in the back. I think I could say was the most calmest and always cool with Crush.
Yeah. He seems like a really nice guy. Unfortunately, I know, like we talked about before, is a lot of these wrestlers are no longer here with us in today's world. Hawk and Animal, both of them, Legion of Doom. Crush is no longer here. D'Lo Brown's soul and body are still here, but you kicked the shit out of him, so it's somewhere in the sky. Though this is a brutal match, and you're heading into this at the time. We talked about how your friendship, your relationship with Faarooq is great in today's world. In 1997, I'm taking a guess that as you're walking in here with a 2x4 wearing spikes on your shoulders, you're thinking he is getting his receipt in this matchup. Was that what was that your thought heading into this?
Yes, my thought when it was, I'm going to give him a receipt.
Yeah,
and I owed him one. I owed him one big time, and I gave it to him.
Yeah, no,
you hit it right on the head. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Receipt time.
Like before this match, you obviously are not. You said you didn't really go over much backstage, but obviously you have to talk about something before the match. Like you're obviously maybe, hey, what's going on? Is he kind of looking at you with like a side eye, going, "Oh God, this is." He probably knows it's coming. He probably knows.
Oh, he knew it was coming. He just didn't know when. He knew he had a receipt coming. So that wasn't professional wrestling. When you would say to somebody, and they say you got a receipt coming, you never know when. That's the scary part about it. It could be in the locker room. You know, somebody could come and lay you out in the locker room or something. But they say you got a receipt coming. Watch your back.
Yeah. This match, it has table spots, it has weapons, it has every kind of weapon you could think of involved in this type of match. When you're heading into this and then you're done, your adrenaline's obviously pumping, you're obviously feeling great. When you wake up the next morning after a match like this, how are you feeling?
Oh, you get to feel all the little bumps and bruises, brother. All them little Billy Club hits that Savio did, you feel all that, man.
Ugh.
All that.
No bubble baths were waiting for you that night?
No, not that night, man.
You needed it that night.
Hardcore water. No bubble bath.
Oh, no. Yeah. Because, you know, you never know what you're going to talk about here on the New Generation Era podcast with Ahmed Johnson. We're going from bubble baths to beat downs to billy clubs to receipts. So many great things here. But is this because WrestleMania 13, I think, obviously, 12 was a great moment because that was your first. 13 is like you're in Chicago with Legion of Doom, wearing the shoulder pads, beating down a dude who personally at that time you feel like wronged you. And here you are, triumph over evil. You win the matchup. The crowd's going crazy. Everyone loves it. How are you mentally still feeling today in today's world about this? Because this is, again, WrestleMania 13, they might have inducted Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin's match from this event in the Hall of Fame. But at the same time, there are gems in every WrestleMania. And personally, for me, this match is one of those gems. For you personally, like how proud of you of this match are you?
Oh, I hear a lot of people talk about it, man. The funny part about it, though, I didn't really see it as a match, like you said. I seen it more as a revenge thing. Because when he did to me and my kidney, you know, he kicked me in my kidney, rushed my kidney. And so, I mean, he kicked me hard. You can't even mistake.
You can see it.
You can't even mistake and say you slipped or nothing like that. You can see it plain as day. He aimed straight for the kidney, and he went in for it. So the payback was glorious. But we cool now, Ron.
Yeah.
I'm no hard feeling now, brother.
Hey, man. 1997 and 2025 are different years. Many years apart have,
Exactly.
you know. So, you know, what happened then, you know, sucked then. But I was so happy to see that photo pop up recently on the internet of you and Ron Simmons together. You were smiling, and I thought, this must be real. This is not AI because there they are together. And I was glad to see it because as long as I can remember, there were rivalries in time, and you and Ron Simmons are one of those rivalries, especially from 96 to 97, even 98 when you joined the nation, where you think, I don't know what's going on here on television, but these two look like they hate each other. And then now in 2025, as we record this, you guys are cool. It's great to see because in wrestling, you always hear stories, and
Right.
you never know if they're going to be resolved over time, but it's good to see that you and Ron figured it out. And I'm guessing he still has some bruises from this night because you beat the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah. He does.
Well, WrestleMania 13 is another historic event in the New Generation Era in Chicago, Illinois. But Ahmed Johnson, I'm so happy that we got to do this today because your stories, your insight on what happened, no one else has your perspective but you. And I'm so happy we did this today. Again, I'm Seafall. He is Ahmed Johnson. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for enjoying the show, and we will see you next time.
Peace.
Bye-bye.